Hi everybody, welcome back. Try not to mind my bat-like lashes. If I blink fast enough, I will fly.
I love them, but I really want to see new things.
You can't play around with makeup, especially as like a profession or just like a true hobby, and not do things and just make light of it. You know, like accidentally putting on bat wing eyelashes because you messed up your eyeshadow. I mean, it's a tip and a trick, but you still have to deal with the fact that you have bat wings on your eyes. So today I am bringing back Chat Spats, and it was highly requested. I've been doing a lot of Shop Miss A hauls, and I told you guys I wanted to take my channel more affordable. If I do get high-end, I wanted to go through like discount places like TjMaxx and Marshalls and all of that, because that's my lifestyle. But I've never done just makeup videos. I am overall a beauty channel, but I'm also lifestyle, plus size fashion, all of it, whatever I want. I mean, it's my channel.
Mine.
So that's where I wanted to take it makeup wise, but I've always done Chat Spats, Niki's nonsense, you know, everything like that, because I love talking to you. I love having conversations, and I can easily take criticism or somebody else's opinion that does not match my own and not start a war, which is really, really hard here on the internet. And so it's hard to take part in constructive conversations online that just don't end up going over the line. And I like the fact that in my Chat Spats, 99% of the time, it is a legit adult conversation in the comments. I get to know you guys more, you get to know me more, you get to know each other more, and that's something that I really miss, because a lot of the times on my beauty videos, I don't get a lot of comments. You know, I don't really get too much interaction with you guys. And I understand that, because I do dishes, clean the house, do stuff while I'm watching other people's videos, and I don't comment either. So I get why there's that lack of connection. But with Chat Spat, it really draws you guys in, and I ask you to give your opinion down below. And that's something that a lot of creators just don't do. They don't want your opinion, and when you give it, they're kind of snarky back. And it stinks. So I just want to come back on here, start Chat Spat, make you guys that were like, I want Chat Spat videos back, happy, make me happy, and we're just gonna do me. Yeah. So today, today we're going to be talking about a little bit of COVID and how that's affecting parenting. I really, really want your guys' opinion on this when we talk about it, because it's something that I'm personally going through, and I really could use some advice, tips and tricks, things like that. And then we're going to talk about Britney Spears. Yes, we are. We are going to be talking about the Britney Spears. She was my idol growing up, probably most of yours too, but even if she wasn't, I know you know the name. You know the deets, or at least some of them. So I want to talk to you guys all about that, which will probably be an ongoing thing. So I'm going to take a deep breath, shut the hell up, and we're going to go ahead and get into this, because Chat Spats are long. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about just right off the ground is COVID. We're all experiencing it. We're all going through it. We're all losing people. We're all watching people just get wrung through the ringer. Is that a saying? That doesn't sound right. But you know what I mean. Like, we're all just getting no jellied, okay? And that's kind of an inside thing between me and my husband, but if you know, you know. Just no lube, just going right at it. Ouch.
We have sort of a problem here. Yeah.
Now for me, I have to make light of bad situations, or I will literally go insane. So I make a lot of jokes, and if I insult you or hurt you, I'm really, really sorry. It's not meant to. I'm just one of those people where if someone's getting yelled at, I'm going to be like in the background trying to run. Got me in a lot of trouble when I was a kid, believe me. But when I said I wanted to talk about the parenting aspect of this, because we already know that everybody who's really dealing with COVID, there's nothing positive coming out of it. Nobody's experienced, no one who's been even slightly touched with anything having to do with COVID has been a good experience. So we're all experiencing the same negative effects of it. But I want to look at it through the parents' eyes, because I'm sitting here, we are lower class, but like higher lower class. And we're kind of like right under that middle class line at times, I guess you could say. But my children, 2 of them are in school, 1 is not. The one that's not even in school is still getting affected by COVID because he's 3 years old. We suspect he has autism. We were in line dealing with that and COVID hit and we had to stop everything, and he ended up aging out of the program he was in, which she barely got to see him anyway because of COVID. You know, so he's 3 now, possibly and most likely has autism. He's nonverbal, and he has never played with somebody his own age. Never. It's only been his sister and his brother, who there are big age gaps because he's 3, my first son is 8, and then my daughter, who is my first child, is 14. So there is a big age difference there. So he's never played with someone even close to his age. So there are going to be some like social like de-escalation that I'm really, really scared about. My daughter has bipolar anxiety, she's got ODD, she's got everything, ADHD. I mean, she's on a lot of medication and she struggles to learn, and they have been virtual since last year sometime, but they keep trying to go back into school and they can't because they get there and the day they're there someone is, you know, exposed to COVID and they have to go back to virtual learning. My daughter cannot learn virtually. This is making her fail. She went from a high honor roll student to failing 4 classes. And then now we've been working our butt off all this last semester and she's still failing 2. And these are 2 classes she did extra credit for. She was talking to the teachers. I was talking to the teachers. They said everything was going great, but then she still has a failing grade. There are so many holes because COVID is relatively new. The virtual thing is relatively new. There are so many holes and my daughter is slipping right through it. And I know that there's got to be a ton of you out there that are experiencing the same issue because children and mental illness is becoming less and less taboo, just like adult mental illnesses, and a lot of it is coming more to light. People are understanding more of it. The doctors and, you know, psychologists and things are looking deeper into it. Things are being found. Why is there no help for people who cannot learn virtually? Why is there nothing that they have come up with so far? There's been a long enough time to where they can figure out something to help kids who have learning disabilities. My son, Kingston, my first son, he has no issues that we know of yet. He just, you know, just a kid, 2nd grader, but he's also being affected by this because he has no friends to hang out with, and he's a very vocal social creature. He loves to talk, he loves to be around his friends, and we're all 3 stuck in a trailer with nowhere to go. I'm very, very worried about my children's future, about their ability to be social, their ability to manage their mental illnesses or disorders correctly in social settings. I'm afraid of what the generation that's supposed to be leading us in the future is going to look like when they lack social skills, when they're not getting the education that they're supposed to be getting, when education, first off, without COVID is kind of a joke. We can all admit that. They throw things down your throat that you don't need to know in real life anyway.
I've been considering things that begin with the letter M. Moron.
You know, so what is this going to be? What is this going to be? I'm scared. I see my children failing. I see them depressed because they're failing. I see the results of what this is doing, the effect that it's having on my children who have learning disabilities and disorders. And I need someone else to be like, you know what, I'm going through this too, or this is what you can do to help, or, you know, just something. So if you're going through this as well, if you're worried about your children, if your children are falling through the cracks because they're not easily able to learn on a computer in a virtual setting, let me know down in the comments and let me know what you're doing about it, what your school's doing about it, if anything. Maybe we can just support each other if nothing's being done yet, and maybe we can do something to help, because I'm a mom. If you're a mom, or if you love any child in your life, you know that extreme I need to fix it now when you feel like your children are in danger, whether that's physically or mentally. You know, so I really want your guys' opinions. I need your feedback. I need to know where you are at in your life with children and the pandemic and COVID and their schooling, because I need to know if this is just me. Am I failing as a parent here, or is this something that's legitimately happening? So leave your comments down below. I want to know. I want to know what you guys think. If you have friends that are dealing with this, if you have family that's dealing with this, I don't care. If you have any kind of perspective to give, I would love to hear it. Alright, now on to Britney Spears. You might be like, why are we talking about Britney Spears? Because I love her. First of all, if you haven't heard of the Free Britney movement, it's been out there, it's been pretty vocally out there for quite a bit, and that is because Britney Spears, she suffers from mental illness, probably from severe mental illness. I'm not her doctor. I'm not going to sit here and assume what she has and what she doesn't. A lot of people like to do that. They like to do that to a lot of people, especially online, but she went through a very public thing and ended up mentally breaking down, you know, for the world to see. We all saw that, and even if you didn't follow Britney or you weren't a fan, you still saw it. It was plastered all over every magazine. It was on every TV. It was everywhere that she was beating cars with an umbrella, that she shaved her head. It was made a joke around the world. That she had this very public mental breakdown, and in order to come out of it, she was put on a conservatorship. I'm gonna say it wrong. I tried to do this with my husband. I'm like, tell me what the word is, and he tried to say it and he messed it up, so now it's all messed up in my head. But she's under that, and what that is, if you're not sure, is it's where a guardian, someone takes over of someone else's life. Basically, they take over their financials, they take over their daily schedules, they take over everything, who they hang out with, who they do meetings with, you know, what shows they do, what they do for work, all of it. They take over it because of that person being either of old age and not competent, or just not mentally competent to begin with to do it for themselves. And when all of that first went down, nobody really pushed the fact that her father came in to be the conservator of that, because nobody really knew what was going on. And as time went on, Instagram became very popular. Britney was on Instagram, and there was these two girls who were huge fans of hers, and they decided that they wanted to kind of like go through her Instagram with a fine tooth like comb and just look and see if Britney was trying to put something out there that the world was not seeing. And when they started looking for that, they found it. They found it in every post, in every word, in every picture, every video. They found something that was making people be like, is she held hostage in her life? So for me, I was always such a huge fan of hers that right off the bat, I was just like, I cannot believe this is happening to her for the world to see. Why is nobody giving her that empathy and that sympathy and just that right as a human being to be able to go through something like this without hordes of people watching? And it was really, really sad to me right off the bat, because she was such an icon. She was always so sweet, you know. And then I sat there and I was like, you know what? I don't ever remember anyone like Steve-O, you know, Bam Margarita, whatever the hell his name was, you know, any male that lost it publicly, I don't ever remember them getting put under a conservatorship. I never remember that. I don't recall that ever happening, being talked about, nothing. So first of all, I was like, there's a gender thing here going on. Then I thought maybe it was just her family. You know, they're uber religious. Maybe they come from a very small town, Kentwood. Maybe they just, that's what they wanted to do. You know, they wanted to help her. Maybe her dad's just trying to help her. Then I started to look more into it and noticed that her dad was never really in her life. It was her mom who was more in her life, her daily life. Her dad was not really around until she started making money. And there's a thing on Hulu that has to do with Britney. It's an episode of something about freeing Britney and all of that, and or the framing of Britney Spears, and it really breaks it all down with proof, legal documents, interviews with people who were actually part of her world, assistants, you know, everything, proof right there, that right from the get-go when she was little, off of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, Mickey Mouse, you know, all that, she was on there with Justin and Christina Aguilera. Her dad pushed so hard for her to become famous. He put almost, he bankrupted himself to put her into fame. And he would get so excited every time she got a job, because he would tell people, oh, she's going to make me money. Oh, she's going to buy me a boat. Oh, she's going to do this for me. And all of a sudden, it was Britney, and he'd come in and try to take everything over. And they pushed against him. So it was kind of almost like when she had a mental breakdown, he saw an opening and he took it. And once he started that, he was locked in as a conservator of everything. And it got really, really bad after that. And a lot of it was hidden. A lot of it was just public documents that people didn't even know were out there. It was all happening very hush-hush, so people thought that was kind of the end of it, and Britney was just doing her. You know, she was healing, she was getting better, she had boyfriends she was showing on Instagram, and then it recently started to blow up again because a legal document came out that somebody did find where Britney is trying to fight this. She's not even trying to fight the conservatorship. I'm sure she wants it gone, but she knows that, you know, there's never been a human being that's legally noted that has had a conservatorship put on them that's been taken off. It's never happened. You know, so she's a little bit screwed in that sense. But she wants her dad off from it. And a lot of things happen. I mean, you gotta remember, he's already had to claim bankruptcy once. So why is he ahead of her $60 million estate? You know? And then besides that, he's been in AA for alcoholism. You know, there was this huge thing that escalated this to where he got into a physical altercation with one of Britney's sons. This man is not a good man, and it's very obvious. It's written in black and white. There's like proof shown, you know, that he's not a good man. So you kind of start to put the pieces together, and you really need to look at it from an outside perspective of she was pushed into being famous by her parents. She was well loved, well received, so she was excited that she was doing something to make her parents happy. But she started at such a young age and was pushed into being famous so quickly, and she even said it was like it was overnight. One day I was just doing little skits in the mall, and before Baby One More Time became popular, she was doing it in the mall. You know, no security, nothing. She was just doing it on a little stage in the mall. And that's where she was found, and she became famous, and that's where her Baby One More Time video came out, and she blew up. So it was basically overnight. She was given this good girl, the girl next door kind of vibe, and she was told not to break that or her famousness would go away. She never, ever was able to form her own identity because she was what the public wanted her to be for so long. And of course, her dad pushed that because he wanted the money. So it's very, very, it's like heartbreaking. It's very sad to watch someone's life go like that. And then she met Kevin Federline, which I believe was one of her backup dancers. You can tell that she made a lot of bad friends during that first mental breakdown stage. I think because she was trying to find somebody who would be in it for the right reasons. And she knew that everybody in that elite stage with her of celebrity and all of that was not going to be genuine. So she went to paparazzi for friends, backup dancers for friends. And you know, and a lot of celebrities do that. J-Lo even did that for a while. And it just didn't work out for her. Nobody around her was in it for her. They were in it for other reasons. And when she had that breakdown, when she shaved her head because she didn't want people touching her anymore. That's a huge indicator of a mental illness that goes beyond just the norm. And I feel like it's almost like a trauma because Kevin took her boys and ditched. He wouldn't open the gates for her. He wouldn't even get on the intercom to tell her she couldn't see her boys. He just ghosted her. And she kept trying to go back to his house to see them. And when he flat out said no, she lost it. And she did. She ended up in the hospital on a 5150, which is basically you need to go into the psych ward and be evaluated. And they have come to the terms where you need to be held there for a while. That's a 5150. And so who wouldn't? It was all made so public. You know, and then she has paparazzi circling her in the vehicle and yelling at her and flashing. My bipolar was actually brought up from a trauma that happened to me when I was younger. It was an extreme trauma that happened in like a 2-month period, and bam, it brought out something that was already in my brain, but it brought it out. And I'm thinking, is that what happened to Britney? Like, was she just on the edge trying to hold it together? And the whole thing with Kevin and her kids just knocked her down, and it's all over for the world to see. It's made this huge big deal where if I was in her place, I would have done a lot worse. I would have done a lot worse than what she did to that man's car with an umbrella. You know, I would have done a lot worse than how she reacted to Kevin not giving her her kids. And I know for a fact many people would have reacted a lot worse, but she was made such a mental case to the public. People started making fun of her. They even had a Family Feud show where they were like, name the things Britney Spears has lost. And they made a joke out of, oh, she lost her mind, she lost her hair. You know, they just kept going. And I'm just disgusted by the whole thing. Okay, at first I really thought that, you know, she's got an issue she's got to work through. I mean, she lost it. She just went crazy. It was funny to make fun of it, but it's not funny to make fun of it. For someone like me who lives through mental illness and a lot of it, I think she handled that with such class. I think she's still handling it with such class. She doesn't speak out about it. There was a document put out where she did say that she was for the people who were doing the Free Britney movement, you know, but she hasn't actually stood her ground and been like, I want out of this. I need help. You know, there's been little like hidden messages, little things that she can deny if she wanted to, but there's so much of it. There's piles and piles and piles of these hidden messages that it just seems like it's a little bit too much to be coincidence. So I want your guys' opinion on this. Do you know more than I do? Let us know in the comments. What are your opinions on this? You know, what are your opinions on her father? What are your opinions on a pop star who is like late 30s being under a conservatorship? Not being able to get out of it. Not being able to have the right to do what she wants to do with her life. I don't think that I think she had a moment, you know, of a mental breakdown. And if you have bipolar or anything like that, you know, you have your moments throughout your life where you could easily be 51-50'd. I mean, that's a Friday for me. I couldn't imagine if I had a breakdown and the whole world got to see it and judge me and scrutinize me for it, but then there were irreversible like consequences for something that I couldn't help, something that was happening to me. And no one was there to help. They just wanted to make a huge joke out of my suffering. I couldn't imagine that. And then she's still dealing with it now when you can tell that she is mentally sound. You know, it's just weird. If you're there enough mentally to work, to do shows, to sing, to dance, to be on Instagram, to talk and have normal conversations, why are you in a conservatorship? And all she's saying is, I just don't want my dad to be ahead of it. Let my mom be ahead of it. Let the bank be ahead of it. She actually requested a bank to be ahead of her estate. Why won't they change it? You know, so I want your guys' assumptions, your comments, your opinions. I want everything down below in the comments because this is going to be an ongoing thing. I'm probably going to update it, give you guys a little bit more information. I just wanted to give you the roundabout little gist of what's going on, and I want you guys' opinions because for me, this touches me close to home because one, I grew up, she was my idol, and two, we have a lot of the same mental issues, and I feel for her on a very deep level to where even if I wasn't a fan, I would feel the same way. I would feel just as bad for her because I have a lot of empathy towards people who can't always win over their mental demons. It's hard. It's harder than being a parent. And let me tell you, that's one of the hardest things I've ever done. So I feel for her. So I want your guys' comments about that and about parenting with COVID and all this virtual learning. I need all of the comments down below. They will be so helpful to me and so helpful to others. And of course, if you guys have any like input on topics you want to talk about, anything, leave those down below. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can always message me anywhere. I will get it. Thank you guys so much for sitting around and wasting some time with me. I know that these videos are quite longer and it's just me yakking, so it can get a little bit like a Muppet or something like. I appreciate you guys being here and listening to me and taking part in the conversation. So I, of course, will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.